What is going on YouTube? It's GadgetsBoy. Welcome to another video, and boy have I been waiting to get my hands on the Xperia 1. This smartphone has a 21:9 aspect ratio display, fantastic HDR OLED display, and I just wanted to play with it. And it's the first smartphone from Sony that's got a camera that's been co-engineered with their camera engineers. So the team over at Alpha, they've come together to actually help develop this camera. And if you were to look in, most smartphones are out right now, they're all majority of them, they use a Sony hardware when it comes to the camera lenses and so on. So it's always baffled me as to why Sony smartphones don't have the best cameras on the market. Anyway, without further ado though, let's get into it and see what this smartphone is actually all about, because last time we saw it, it was locked down. We couldn't really get to grips with the software and some of the applications that they showed us. But now we've actually got them here. Let's check it out.
When it comes to photography, gaming, entertainment and audio, it probably isn't anyone who does it better than Sony. Take Sony's Bravia technology or Alpha mirrorless cameras, lenses and headphones for example. They deliver outstanding performances. Let's not even begin to mention how many blockbuster movies Sony has made to date. So when it comes to their smartphone division, it's always baffled me as to why they don't combine all their efforts and make it into one of the best smartphones that we can buy on the market. Maybe the Xperia 1 would change things for them. In the packaging, you get all the usual, a 3-pin charging brick for the UK, a USB-C cable, 3.5mm to USB-C adapter, SIM ejector tool, and the rest of it. Let's get the specs out of the way. You get a Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 processor, that's without 5G, 6GB of RAM, 128GB of internal storage, of which you can expand using a microSD card of up to 512GB. You get Android 9.0, 3330 mAh battery, and you also get fast charging as well. And it's IPX5 and 8 water and dust resistant. The Sony Xperia 1 also has a Corning Gorilla Glass 6 on the back and I believe on the front also, so it should be highly durable. Generally, the Xperia 1 is very minimalist in design, and with a 21:9 aspect ratio, it's a tall device. I mean, here it is next to the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, another smartphone that could be regarded as a huge device. On the front, we have no notch, but an all-screen design with an 8-megapixel front-facing camera. On the right side, you have all the buttons, including power button, a dedicated shutter button for your camera, the volume rockers, and the side-loaded fingerprint sensor as well. Sony said they noticed people accidentally powers their device on when using the previous power and fingerprint sensor combo. So they've separated it, so now you have the fingerprint sensor on its own. So you can still wake up the device using just that fingerprint sensor if you wish to do so. It will need some getting used to though, I feel. For those with small hands, you'll have to get used to this as well. You have side sense, so you can tap on the side to load apps and also activate a dual window feature to run two applications side by side, well in this case top to bottom, unless you turn it landscape. Or you can also use it to activate one-handed mode, which I find will be very useful for most people. You can also use Google Assistant to activate this if you wish to do so, and I believe this might be the first smartphone to actually allow you to do so using Google Assistant. The Xperia 1's display is one of the areas where it should really excel. It's a cine-wide 21:9 4K HDR OLED display, so it packs everything. You got X1 for mobile engine in there as well. And for color accuracy, it's been calibrated to mimic the master monitor used in Hollywood. So you get a display that is true to life, is less noisy, offers more realism, and gives you better contrast. Platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and YouTube will offer more HDR content, so you'll be able to enjoy this feature going forward. To complement the display, you also have high-res audio, S-Force, surround, Dolby Atmos, and boy does this sound amazing even with the headphones plugged in, or if you're just using Xperia 1's stereo speakers. The bottom firing speaker is there as well, which has also got some sort of algorithm there, so even though it's pointing downwards, it kind of feels like it's facing you when you're using it. Next, let's talk about the cameras. There's a 16mm ultra wide angle lens at f2.4, a 26mm standard or wide lens at f1.6, and a 52mm f2.4 2x optical zoom lens as well. It's great for portrait shots and it's also got OIS. The standard lens and the zoom one has OIS built in, and the ultra wide angle lens uses EIS, as most of the time when shooting wide shots like landscape photography, you don't need all that stabilization in progress at all. Sony says they have designed or co-engineered the camera system with their Alpha team, and my first impressions are it looks really good. I can't wait to actually share some of the images with you guys on my Instagram page or just in Twitter, so make sure you follow me at GadgetsBoy. For example, another area is the low light shot. They have designed it to capture raw images first, then in the background the Xperia 1 would process the raw files to create low light shots. It's probably, or even more technically for me, a better way of doing it rather than opening the shutter for the sake of it. I use my DSLR to take shots in darker or in low light area, and what I do is usually step down my exposure. So when I put it into my post-processing application like Lightroom, I can bring out all the details, the brightness, contrast, the blacks, the whites, etc. So it's something that's similar to what the Xperia 1 is doing here, which I quite like. There's also eye autofocus. So this is something that people that uses the current Sony Alpha cameras would know about. It means the Xperia 1 can spot the eye and set focus on and around it, resulting in sharper images, something I value when shooting portrait pictures. It's also an application that's dedicated for those who want to film on the go and step it up a bit more than just using the camera application. It's called a Camera Pro app, and it looks exciting. It's a dedicated app that allows you to apply different color science live to your video, so you can see as you're adjusting things. You can adjust white balance, shutter speeds, and you can do a bit more using the applications. You just have to play around with it and see which one suits you best. You can adjust the frame rates, for example, so you can shoot 30 frames per second or 25 frames per second if you wish to do so. I can imagine if you plug this into an external monitor, as in plugging your smartphone into an external monitor and hook up the Xperia 1 into a rig, you might be able to actually use it like a video camera. Maybe it's something that we need to put to test. But more on this on Sony's website if you want to find out more. For the gamers out there, you have Game Enhancer. With Game Enhancer, you can record your gameplay as well as your reaction. So the front-facing camera can capture your face as you're playing it. You can take screenshots. You can optimize the performance for performance mode or battery saving mode, depending on what mood, what you're feeling like. Changing the focus settings as well also helps to make sure that nothing is interrupting your gaming session. You can even use the search function without having to come out of your gaming experience. So you can search the web or go on YouTube on the side, for example. Again, this is because we have that 21:9 aspect ratio, giving you more space, more room on your display. When in the battery saving mode, frame rate is reduced and background applications and activities are also reduced. When streaming to places like Twitch, you'll still be able to stream in 16:9 aspect ratio. But when you're playing games like Fortnite, you'll have a bigger aspect ratio to play and see more on your display. First impressions, the Xperia 1 could be that phone I've been waiting for Sony to make for such a long time. It has a great camera, tantalizing display, great surround sound, software seems very good. The only letdown for me is the battery size so far, and maybe the next iteration we have a bigger battery and 5G for live streaming to places like Twitch. But again, it's just the first impression, so maybe the further I use it, the more I use it, I'll start to see other areas where maybe Sony could improve. The Xperia 1 is available in black, grey, white, purple. Sony aren't trying to be fancy with colour names like Breathing Crystal or something like that. And it starts from £849, SIM-free to buy.
And that's it for the Sony Xperia 1, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Would you buy it? Are you disappointed? Are you excited about it? Let us know either way. If you have any questions and there's anything else that you would like me to play with on the phone and make a video about, let me know as well in the comments below. In the meantime, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification as well, so you'll be one of the first people to know every time there's a video on this channel. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.